All right. Welcome back, traders. Hopefully, y'all had a wonderful holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you guys celebrating. Hopefully, you guys spent some quality time with family. And we got New Year's coming up here in a couple days. So, Happy New Year to all. Happy holidays to all. I wish everyone happy holidays, Happy New Year, all that fun stuff. All right, cool. So, the charts. I think we had mentioned a couple weeks ago already about how this range low on tether dominance is intact, and a weekly bullish engulfing candle last week or 2 weeks ago. And this week, we basically just back tested this as a support. Okay. So essentially what's happening is probably continued downside for the market overall in general. Obviously you're going to have some altcoins outperforming Bitcoin. You're going to have some meme coins doing some things, sure. But in general, we're probably going to see the market trend down here for a bit. And that is mostly because of tether dominance. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard, but I think USDT is getting delisted from some European exchanges, which also might have some implications to add to the fuel, to the fire of downside price action. But I do see continuation happening here for Tether up to the 4.69 to up to 4.84%, maybe even testing the weekly 200 week moving average up at 5.52%. Like, that's not out of the cards, right? Because, we always revert back to the mean, which would be the major moving average here at around 5.5%. Now, I'm not saying that the bull run is over, but what I am saying is that we're going to see a nice, healthy drawdown in these markets. What's going on, Burns? Long time no see. I'm trying to open up a new tab here, and this is taking way too long. Anyways, yeah, we're going to go to the Bitcoin chart here. A lot of what I had mentioned the last couple weeks, I think, is still in effect. We still haven't retested this $85,000 region or even $90,000 region yet. I think once we start breaking like 92K, we're going to see 85 to 90,000 touched. Yeah, I mean, the monthly candle here not looking the best, right, with that long wick like that. That's usually selling pressure, right? So this could be a monthly reversal candle here. So we could be looking at a few months of drawdown, and that could take us back to our breakout area. It may not go all the way, it may not extend all the way down there, but I'm thinking about half the candle would be about right. So I'm looking at like this $80,000 region as a potential for maybe a low to be put in. Bitcoin dominance, kind of flat and not really doing too much here. It's still in the structure right now. So altcoins can't really outperform Bitcoin with this happening just yet. Sure, $16 billion is a decent chunk of change. I I think, and I keep kind of alluding to the same types of things here. We're going to see this continued pullback in this market, and it's healthy. After you made such a breakout, right? You can even see on the Bitcoin futures chart, you have this big gap. You have a gap here between 78 to 80,000. I think that's where this price action is potentially going to go. I say potentially because I don't know for sure, right? If there's not enough selling pressure to get us down there, then we're not going to get down there. But it just makes a lot of sense for us to go and do that. And I think that's like what, from top to bottom, that's a 28% drawdown for Bitcoin. That's not really a big deal. It's not really a big deal in a bull run. This drawdown here was a bit steeper, was 34%. But if you just go by candle bodies, it was 28%. You know, and the drawdown we had here after the ETF launch. Or this wasn't the ETF launch. This was the ETF launch here. Or I think that I think it was this, right? And then was it January of 24 that they launched the ETF? I forget. I think it was like around 38K or something, right? I don't remember. I think it was maybe here. I don't remember. But anyways, this drawdown here, 22%. This drawdown here, 20%. So when you're into like a parabolic move, the corrections are a bit less. So, but we've had about anywhere from 20 to 28% drawdowns in this bull run. I don't think that this would be an unreasonable thing to have happen. Okay. Yeah. So who knows? It may not be as steep as I'm saying, but that's essentially what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this gap fill here on Bitcoin futures market. And listen, if I'm wrong and it doesn't fill the gap, cool. But I think that is like a magnet down to go fill that gap. Well, if you think that that's too much, then we've already done that range. We've already done 16%. So then your next real target would be this 85 to 87,000 region once we take out 92K. Like it really becomes this simple. We're at a range low, right? Here's the range low. We're at it, right? 92K, range low. All right. When we start making candle closes above here, or below here rather, we come into this range here. There's no real trading price action here. This is uncharted territory, right? This is new price action. This is price discovery stuff. So there's not any, looking left on the chart isn't going to really help you here. There's nothing here. So all we know is what we see in front of us here. Okay. And if we start breaking down and we start losing this level, this $92,000 region, we're gonna go and test 86,000. This right here was regarded as, you can call it a support. It was a support for like a day before we went higher. That's it. Not a lot of price action. You think that gap will take much longer to fill? It could. I mean, this was a breakaway gap up, right? Usually it does take a while for these to fill. But listen, it wouldn't surprise me or shock me if we did get that drawdown. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Listen, trading is a game of probabilities, and the probability right now is that we could see that, right? Because we had I want to say we had like a rising wedge structure here. We broke down. The bottom of the rising wedge is this $86,000, $87,000 region. We're in a major uptrend. So bearish divergence and bearish indicators on the chart are going to underperform because we're in a major uptrend, right? Right. So we broke down, we came up to retest 100K. We retested it as resistance. We've come down. I'm not looking at spot right now. I'm looking at futures. So let me go to the spot price right now. Yeah, so 93K, and we can see a daily bearish engulfing candle was confirmed today. I mean, I wouldn't really count today's price action as like, major price action because it's a holiday. Trading volume is low right now. They can move this market however they want. Like it's very low, very, very low volume. But if you really look at this structure, All right. Does this not look like a potential head and shoulders pattern? Because that's what it looks like to me, at least on the daily time frame. And then you have this neckline, right? And this shoulder is roughly around the same shoulder length. It's not like clearly higher, like that much higher. It's like very, very slightly higher. I wouldn't even say that that's even a thing. Like that's like a fake, not a fake out, but like, and that's really close to not being invalidated, but I wouldn't say that's necessarily invalidated type of thing. Okay. I'm not trying to get all bearish the market here. I'm just letting you guys know that we've gone on quite a run, and Tether is still sitting at the bottom of its range. And weekly indicators on Tether are pointing up, and that usually doesn't bode well for the market. Like, I want to sit here and tell you guys that everything is going to be okay. I think everything will be okay in the next coming weeks or months, but for the next couple weeks here, it just looks like we're going to go sideways or down. Total 3, if we go to the monthly time frame, Total 3's monthly candle doesn't look anywhere nearly as bad as Bitcoin's monthly candle. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this to me just looks like a back test, right? This actually doesn't look that bad, I would say. And your monthly MACD, no bearish divergence on the monthly MACD right now. This is your altcoin market, by the way, okay? For anyone that's trying to understand what I'm talking about. Your monthly stochastics are still ticked up. This looks good. All-time highs yet on a candle body close, so I think altcoins still have a lot of room to run. I think next year is going to be the year that they do that. Typically, the year after the halving year is when altcoin season is imminent. So we'll see if we get that. Let's look at ETH. The ETH BTC ratio here is still kind of just hanging out down here. No real technical damage yet on the monthly, just sitting in the structure. Okay. Monthly stochastics have ticked up. This usually takes about 2 months for this to play out, if this is going to play out. So that puts us into about February, all right? Or like middle of February or maybe end of February for the ETH BTC ratio to really start its move. And if you look carefully, we had a similar type of setup here where we had the monthly bullish divergence. And this was in August of 2019, okay? And if we go look at that, I said we could drop down to 78K. That's what I said. And that's a gap fill area on Bitcoin. And, some folks here are saying that they don't think that. I'm just saying that that's a possible scenario. That's a gap fill on the Bitcoin futures market. Yeah, I'll take a look at Strat. Okay, so this is when ETH on the monthly had its bullish divergence cross up. You can see this took many months for this to play out. But this was actually the bottom for ETH Bitcoin, right here. And this took a solid, I don't know, man, a year, 2 years, but this was the bottom. So this monthly time frame is telling you that this is the bottom for ETH Bitcoin. And yes, this could take a year and change for this to play out, okay? That's what the chart says. I'm just going by what the chart says. It's a lot of data. Like, we got monthly data here. This could take some time to play out, right? So, August of 2020, this was this first peak that it made. And this was a move from the low 0.16% to this high up here of 4%. So that's a decent move against Bitcoin there, okay? So that's what we could be looking at in the next however many months that was. That took that was a full year. So in a full year, by the end of 2025, we could be looking at about 150% move against the wrap Bitcoin pair, against the wrap Bitcoin ratio. What that is dollar wise, I don't know, but I mean, if Bitcoin is, sitting up here at 80, 90K, I don't think it's going to be sitting up here at 80, 90K for another year. I'm just saying. So like, let's just say Bitcoin gets to, I don't know, 170K in like a year, let's just say, So that means, the ETH Bitcoin ratio might be trading around 7-ish%. Okay. Anyways, you guys get the idea. I'm giving you guys, the chart's giving you a little bit of a clue as to what's coming there. So we'll keep monitoring that. We'll look at Strat. All right, so attempted breakout to 9 cents there. That's bold. Yeah. I think I said last stream we could see a 6.5 cent retest. I think we pretty much got that. I'm not sure when this happened, but it might have. I actually might have dipped a little bit further than that, and that's fine. I was just giving a range on this. Okay, well, we're just starting to see some higher lows come in here. If this low holds, and that's showing some nice accumulation, right? And that's good. That's kind of what you want to see on an asset that's maybe at its bottom. I say maybe because, well, we don't know if these lows are going to hold. But right now it's holding above the daily 200 moving average, so that's good. Attempted rallies here. Obviously difficult to rally when the market's not in your favor. Okay. Let's see. So the 3-day chart, losing a bit of steam here on the 3-day. You can see you got a bit of bearish divergence there on the 3-day RSI. Your average sentiment oscillator here losing a bit of bullish momentum. I would still say you're fine as long as you're making candle closes above this 6.5 cent region. Okay. Weekly time frame. Your weekly time frame looks okay. Sitting bullish at 51 on the RSI. You definitely have room to run higher if the market allows for that. It's tough when everything is kind of sideways or down. So that's really it on this asset. I don't really have that much data on it. Your 13.5 cent region here. If you can make weekly candle closes above that, you can probably go fill this wick at 20. But until then, you're kind of just stuck in this range here between 8 and 6.5 cents. Go look at KDA, sure. Oh boy. I should probably get one of those done. So KDA weekly rejecting the 200-week moving average. I mean, not a big deal. Came up to about 1.91. Holding this range low at 85 cents. Still looks okay to me. Here, holding this range nicely. Sitting above the daily 200. All good things. Got this major move into the beginning of December here. Looks like just maybe a bit of consolidation happening there. I wouldn't say anything bad actually about this asset. It looks like it's just going sideways. The daily here actually looks good. It's giving you a daily buy signal. Your weekly, if the daily and the 2-day and the 3-day start to give buy signals, you get this weekly bullish cross back up. Too early to tell on that, obviously, based on the data. But the daily giving you a buy signal should help this weekly kind of turn its momentum back up. Okay. And your weekly RSI sitting here, 53 bullish. Your average sentiment oscillator looking okay. Got a bullish cross back here in October and just Got a breakout and looks like a retest. I think ETH will now outperform Bitcoin. I said that it could start to outperform Bitcoin, and it's something that we want to monitor. We have a similar setup we have a similar technical setup that we had back in August of 2019 with monthly stochastic RSI bullish divergence, which took a solid year to play out. And so last time it did that, it went on about 140% move against Bitcoin. Okay. We might see a similar result is what I'm trying to say. We actually might see, let me go back to this real quick. We actually might see a bigger result because we're in a bigger structure now. We're in a more defined structure. All right. And so this particular pattern is saying that we could see a 612% measured move from the breakout. Now, that doesn't always mean the whole measured move is accomplished. It could actually only mean that, well, maybe half that move is accomplished. And that would be actually kind of ridiculous. That would put ETH Bitcoin ratio the highest it's ever been at, okay, on a regular time scale. Now, if we chart this on log scale, it might look a little bit different. I'm actually going to do that because I think, yeah, I could check Pulse Chain assets. Which particular asset did you want to look at on Pulse Chain? Sure. So I'm kind of seeing like a pennant, or like kind of a pennant structure on ETH Bitcoin on log scale, and yeah, its measured move is like it's around the same thing, 500-600% measured move. But that would be from a breakout. So the breakout area would be somewhere, in this Feb March region, which kind of lines up with it taking a couple months to play out. And so if that does happen, 550%, like I said, this would be a really ridiculous move. And I don't think it's necessarily going to complete this whole measured move. Half the move would be back up to about 15%. That's still kind of ridiculous. Not ridiculous, but very exuberant move. We got some levels here that we'll be watching when this does start to go, and we'll see how this plays out against Bitcoin here. I do suspect Ethereum is going to make a major move, though. Like, let's be real about it. Yeah, we can look at Flow and Dot. We'll look at the Pulse Chain, Pulse Chain assets. So the Wrap Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. Well, first of all, what you really want to look at, instead of looking at the assets first, is you want to look at the TVL. All right, so the TVL is down here from that top we made there in November, okay? And it's ticking down right now. All right, so that probably means that the assets are probably pulling back or coming into major levels of support here soon. And they're probably going to be areas of value coming in soon. Wrap Bitcoin's sitting at 825. I think this chart is actually fine in terms of what it's doing. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, so you had the ascending triangle breakout, and you had the back test here down to about 450. You got a big spring, and you're kind of just going sideways / down right here. I don't really see any real issues with what the asset's doing from a technical perspective after you make a major breakout like that. So I do suspect, maybe retest to 679, the 680 region. Maybe if the selling really picks up more, we could even see, back to 450. But I'm not sure that we're really going to go much below that, because I think that's where its market structure is going to be held. And you could see when we did get this big move down, this was almost instantly bought up. So yeah, I think that region is being heavily defended on Wrap Bitcoin. Atropa, yeah, let's take a look at Atropa. So Atropa also major uptrend. Came back down to retest previous all-time high as support, got a huge spring. Again, from a technical perspective, I don't see anything really wrong with what it's doing. We could just meander and sit down in this range here for a bit until TVL starts to pick back up. Everything's good, man. The kids are good. My son's 2 and my daughter's 6 months now. They're getting big, and yeah, it's great. I have nothing. Everything is great, man. Really, it's a lot of work, of course, but yeah, everyone's good. Thank God. Family is important, man. Yeah, so Atropa on the shorter time scale here. Also, I want to say oversold for the 4 hour. Probably going to get a nice bounce here. And to me, this actually looks like a potential double bottom forming on at least on the 4 hour time frame. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get major follow through on this asset right here, right now. But we could get a nice pop back up to the trend line, this 10, 11 cent region, right? Everything is dumping, but we are fine. Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to say? Oh, it's awful, dude. No, it's actually going to present you with an opportunity to buy, is what it's going to do. So assets that are in major uptrends like this, if they're holding their market structure, I think that that they probably will continue to play out if we remain in a bull market. So, do I like Solana chain? Yeah, the Solana chain has some good tokens on it for sure. DXY, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance. Tether dominance we just covered. What's INR? I don't know what INR is. We'll look at the NQs here. So look at the the mini future, NASDAQ mini futures. Yeah. Equities look a little scary right now. I will say. The meme is scary, yeah. So the NASDAQ, yeah, I mean, I think the NASDAQ is okay up here. I mean, we might get, 20,817 retests with these lower highs coming in. You can clearly see that we're making lower highs. So, yeah, I mean, I would trade this range accordingly. If we don't get much follow through on this movement down at the bottom of the range, we'll probably get a pop back up. But up here, it's kind of difficult to say like, hey, we're just going to start crashing from here. Probably not crashing, but I think that if we start taking out these levels, this 21,400 region, I think we're definitely going to see a retest of these major moving averages. We might even come back down to tag the 200 moving average at some point. Everything looks like it's pointing down here on the daily. The 3-day time frame starting to show signs of that as well. Yeah, I mean, the equities markets look kind of like they need a break. They need a reset. They've went on quite a run this last year, like up 53% for the year. I mean, that's a crazy year, man, for the NASDAQ. So, all right, so that's NASDAQ. You want to look at US JPY? Are you trading this stuff, man? Yeah, the dollar is bullish against the yen, man. Yes, definitely. It will continue to be, probably, for quite some time. All right. So we'll look at Flow and Dot. Flow, I would still say, is down in the gutter down here, man. I mean, I don't think this thing is really going to start performing until we start going into alt season and NFTs start to really make a comeback. Because this is an NFT blockchain, so my computer sucks. Everything is just freezing right now. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah. They're going to do something unexpected in January. What, like raise interest rates again? Carry trade? Everything was, dude. Everything was in a wedge. Those wedges played out. They didn't play out to their fullest capacity, but some performed better than others, for sure. 1 and theta. Okay, well, if they're going to raise interest rates, then you know what's going to happen. The markets are probably going to dump again like they did last time. Nothing new there. I'm aware. I remember that day. One in theta. Nothing bad to say about this asset. You went into resistance, you're pulling back. You know, if we get continuation downwards, you know, 2.2 cents, the bottom of the range looks like a fair area for it to go. Theta. All right, so we nailed the 886. We beat a lower high. Not really what you want to see, but you know, bouncing off this fib level here, just going sideways on the daily, the weekly, looking a bit like the rest of these assets. You know, rejecting the 200-week moving average. You know, lower high there. That's not really what you want to see. But, you know, it could end up, it just depends. Obviously, if the direction of the market's going to continue downwards, then we're going to see continuation downwards. IJ Money is talking about the Japanese yen. So. For any of you guys that took the FFIE trade, this is starting to look interesting. That's quite the candle, reclaiming its range on the weekly time frame. Talk about a wedge setup. This looks interesting. This is on the NASDAQ, though. So this could just fade here if the whole market decides to continue down again. I'm in some fuel cell too. I don't know, man. I think that this doesn't look the best on the monthly right now. It's engulfing the hammer candle right now. I'm not a big fan of that. I'd like to see this thing close at least back above 1040 tomorrow into the end of the year here. The monthly, yearly candles. Oof. Yeah. I'm still in this trade for now. It's at the range low, man. But we got to get follow through on this. Otherwise, it's not it could just end up breaking this low. That's the problem. But I still think it's low risk down here with where we're at on the RSI and the monthly time frame and all those good things, right? Sitting down here at a 31 RSI on the monthly, looking left, you're at the all-time low or near the all-time low. So risk to reward wise, I think it's still good to be in. Just, what the market does, the market does. We can't really control what direction the market's going to go. ZCAR. Oh, man. What do you want me to do with this, bro? There's no market structure down here. It's just straight down. Oh, yeah, we got some volume coming in down here. You want to take a gamble on this? Set a stop loss at $1.40? Good luck, dude. That's like you telling me to buy this kit stock right here or something. Like no structure, just straight down. Oh, but there's tons of bull div, man. Yeah. I am in some Rivian. Didn't really close the best on the weekly this week, but I still think that this is very low risk down here, especially on the monthly time frame. Again, with the bull div and the squeeze and the monthly RSI, this might take some months to play out, but I think that this break will send it to about 22 to 25 bucks. And I think ultimately this wedge resolves to the top of the wedge at 50 bucks. This could take like 6 months. It could take like a year to play out, right? It's a stock. Yeah. Another really low cap stock is this one, PRTS. I don't really like it until it starts reclaiming $1.09, but I think watching this isn't bad. I mean, obviously this is very low risk down here on the monthly time frame. Again, your monthly stochastic's ticking up. Your weekly just chopping around up here. Your 2-day giving you a signal. So like, yeah, I mean, again, watch the volume. The volume is very low right now on this, but I'd be really looking for this thing to reclaim this, this 109 region is what I'm looking at on the weekly time frame. It's very much a ping pong trade. You can very, very clearly see the ranges on this asset, which I like. And it makes it a lot easier to trade. So just pay attention to that one. Hasn't really given me any real reason to buy it just yet. But what else did I like? Oh yeah, GFAI, did this thing finally break out? It started to on Friday here, I think. Massive falling wedge pattern. Monthly stochastic RSI cross. RSI is wrecked down here. Just down only, big squeeze. Bullish confirmation crosses on these weeklies in 2 weeks. We spoke about Bitcoin already, my man. Mehrab the virus. There's nothing to talk about with Bitcoin right now. It's holding above 92K. As long as it's holding above 92K, I think we have not much to worry about. As soon as we start breaking 92K with confirmation closes and candles below, we're looking at the 85K region. And if we take out the 85K region, I'm looking for that gap fill at 78K. That's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. And in terms of upside, I'm not really seeing too much of it right now. We could just bounce off these range lows to make lower highs again, because like we can clearly see that the top of the range is 100K from 94. So if we start to pick up momentum, look for about 100K break, then we can talk about retesting all-time highs at 108K. That's really it for Bitcoin right now. And I apologize about the noise in the background if you guys hear that. My wife is cleaning the carpets. Sure. Yeah, it's really easy. 92K break. Come out with a Mr. Node wedge coin. Nah, man, it's all good. How you doing, Burns? I haven't seen you in a while, dude. You're the guy that I forget your name again. You've been part of this community for a long time, right? Wedgie US. No more USDT, man. Don't you know about the FUD? Come on, bro. Excuse me. Yeah, it's all about I don't know. We'll see how this all plays out. I think we're really close to approaching altcoin season, and even when we are getting these drawdowns here, it's like you just got to be a bit more patient here. I think we're going into holidays and stuff. Market's just going to do whatever it's going to do. Even the rainbow chart says we're not topped out. I'm just saying. I don't think we're topped out by any means. I think just a healthy drawdown pullback is necessary after this. These weeklies are really extended. Monthlies are not, by the way. Okay, so when the weekly RSIs are extended, the weekly stochastics are topped out. We're going to get these 60 to 70% drawdowns on altcoins because they're just not. They are just not as liquid as Bitcoin. And here, so altcoin season index. Let's go to the yearly chart. We can very clearly see we're coming back down to the range lows we made here in November, okay, before this big pop here in December. So I think the altcoins are becoming a buy again down here, like the good ones, right? So yeah, just pay attention. I think that these are accumulation zones that we're in for a lot of these alts. Not financial advice. Do your own research on these projects, these coins that you're buying. They're all speculative. A lot of them are speculative. A lot of them don't do anything. Your best bet is to buy the major L1s because those at least lead the chain of what's being launched on those chains. So those are probably your safer bets if you're going to take bets. Before I got fired. Oh, you were okay. I think I remember who you were. You were trying to like build some bot or something, right? I remember. All good, dude. Appreciate the continued support. No worries, man. I could let you back in the group too. I don't really mind. I don't really care. It's fine. Yeah, just don't try to sell stuff to the community like without asking us. That's all. That was that. I think that was really the issue. Because that puts us at risk, you know. Anyways, say something about FIDA, FIDA. Sure, let's take a look at the chart. Never heard of this project, but we'll take a look at it. Oh, it's sole name service. I mean, if Solana has staying power, which it does, I think a lot of people are going to be building on Solana long term. This is kind of like Ethereum name service, but for Solana, right? And your monthly looks good. Got a bullish cross on the monthly. Yeah, I would say you're just in an accumulation zone down here. Your monthly candle is fine. You didn't take that out. No bearish engulfing right now, but just range bound. Just sitting in this range between 20 and 35 cents. And once you start taking out on monthly timeframes 36 cents, we can talk about higher prices. To me, this looks like this thing is bottomed out. Is what it looks like. But you don't really have any real momentum on it. That's all on the monthly right now. Sure. I would wait for this monthly. Well, yeah, so you can see that the weekly giving you a sell, the 2 week, kind of rolling over here. Yeah, you might even come back down to test 21 cents. Worst case scenario, 15 cents. That would be a good buying opportunity if it did that, right? Came back down to the range low, made a double bottom down here, and you can take this out of here. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. I'm glad you've stuck with me and learned a lot. I mean, there's lots of folks in here that have learned a lot. Yeah, dude, just become an expert on one pattern and just master it. That's how I learn, man. And then you can start looking and learning about different areas on charts and momentum, and learning about different momentum strategies you can do, and you can really get places by doing that, I think. So that's it. I just think choppy market here for the next coming weeks. We need that weekly on Tether to kind of resolve its momentum. We can see the 2 week now is kind of ticking up here. We're starting to tick up here on the 2 week time frame. Nothing good is coming for this market right now. Hate to say it, but that's kind of what it looks like. Gala gains, rejections. 2 week momentum oscillators pointing down, weeklies pointing down. Maybe just consolidate at around this like 0.026 region. If we see continued downside action, which I think we will, there's going to be days where we bounce and like go sideways and whatever. You know how this goes. Right now, from a technical point of view, you're fine. You're above the daily 200-day moving average. But the real buying opportunity on Gala becomes when you get down here at around this 2.3 cents, or really like an 886 is what you're looking for. I mean, your 618 is right around this 2.6 region. I think real value comes in when you start getting down to these 0.02 regions, even down to this 0.118 region, like a 50% drawdown from here. I think that's when you really can get some value on this thing. I don't like how it's making lower highs. That's not good. That's not good, right? You want to see a higher high. You want to see a break of this, at least of this March high. We made a new all-time high in Bitcoin. Why isn't this altcoin making a new all-time high for March? That to me doesn't look good. Like that's kind of weak. But yeah. Thanks, Toe. I appreciate that, man. I know you've been here for a few years yourself, 4 years or something, 5 years almost now. Like Solana made a new high, right? From this March high. That's good. That's showing strength. INJ hasn't. That's weak. INJ hasn't done anything since March. But I mean, it's fine. It's it's still making higher lows, which is also very important to see, because even though it made this push, it could come back down to retest this range low at $16 if we see continuations down. But as long as it doesn't take out this like $15 region and we really start making closes below it, I think it's fine. Purple Bitcoin, yeah, I'm not going to look at that, dude. Sorry. Orca was actually looking interesting here on the daily. Giving you a signal, a daily signal. Bobby Sing. What are we singing tonight, Bobby? This ENA coin looks pretty strong up here, actually. This looks like a decent structure. I know that it didn't break its high, but you can see that this made a power move into that high. That's actually pretty strong. And your daily here is starting to take up, so that's interesting. So we could see this consolidate, maybe even attempt to rally back up to 120. That's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. Where is the hype, bro? Dude comes in at the end of the stream. ASM. So KSM just range bound here, right? No break yet of the March high. Also kind of weak. Your monthly looks fine. Yeah, it's all about the weekly and the 2 week time frames here that are dictating the short-term action. To me, this looks like a bit of a consolidation. We might, round out to like $28 or something on this. It's kind of what I'm seeing. This level right here, this $28 to $30 level, maybe even down to the bottom of this range here. That looks about right where we had this liquidity wick. So monthly chart, where is it going? It's telling you where it's going. It's pointing up on the monthly. I think we got a few more weeks of sideways action here for a lot of these assets, not just KSM. But to me, this looks fine. We just retested the 2-day 200 moving average. We made an attempted rally here and failed. I think maybe one more retest or maybe just some consolidation here for KSM, as long as, the market doesn't just start getting wrecked and whatever. I think that this is fine to just sit here. Really doesn't really look bad just sitting here. It's fine. Yeah, Crow. We can take a look at Crow. Basically, what you're looking for on KSM is a break above $60. I would say high time frame closures like daily, 2-day, even weekly candles up there is good to see for this. I would say that this pattern to play out. That's it. There's not really much else to talk about. It's just been in a range here for a while. Crow. So Crow making a new high this year or whatever. So that's good to see. See how we made a new high? We pierced through 16 cents. We made a new high. So you're making higher highs and higher lows. So that's good since October of 2023. Good. You could see the trend is sort of shifting for this asset. That's good. You want to see that. Is it possible that we break this and we go retest, 10 cents? That's fine if we do that, because as long as you make a higher low than 7, you're showing accumulation on the asset. That's good. Okay. So I'm giving you this range here because, in case Bitcoin does come down to 78K, you're looking at about another 30% drawdown on Crow if this support doesn't hold. And that would be I would say value would be like around that 9 cent region, the 786 fib extension. If I was looking to buy this, that's where I'd be looking to buy it. Anywhere from 10 to 9 cents, that region there. I think those are good value areas. And you'd still be making higher lows. So from a technical point of view, nothing is bad about that. But yeah, continue to make higher highs and higher lows on out of here. And eventually maybe you can tag and test 98 cents eventually. If you can continue this movement. Have you guys been looking at what Virtual's protocol has been doing? This is the talk of the town on Base. Yeah, I mean, very overbought on the weekly time frame already at 97. At some point, this is probably going to pull back. But man, what a crazy run this has gone on. It's gone from like 2 cents in September to almost $4. Crazy run. I don't see any other cryptos looking like this right now, doing this type of stuff. You got some memes, but yeah, not a fan of buying highs. Yeah, of course not. RDNT. All right, we'll take a look at it. Radiant Capital. What is it that you like about this asset, sir? Is there something in particular that this project does that you like? Anyways, just looking at this chart, it looks likely that it's going to go back down to test its range low at 4.8 cents. Unless this low is holding here. Okay. So yeah, we can look at Hex. I think it's going to be a big deal this coming up year. But anyways, back to this chart. If this low holds here, you have a good chance of going back up to test top of the range. If not, then you are most likely going to retest the bottom of your range. That's it. It seems like low risk down here. Okay. I don't know what this coin does or whatever, but yeah, I mean, this doesn't look bad. You're getting a weekly, average sentiment cross up. That's good. That's good. That means you're changing momentum on the weekly time frame. That's what you want to see. Your weekly RSI is good down here. It's not high risk. It's at 39. It's in the buy zone. Okay. So this looks good, I would say. Okay. And when I mean looks good, I mean like you could strategize an entry on this, right? You enter it here with a stop loss. I would even stop loss it below the all-time low. It's like a 30 or 40% stop loss. But if you're spot trading it, your ROI potential is something like, back to the all-time high, right? You can obviously monitor these ranges, but you can clearly see like there's not really any real resistance until you get to about 19, 20 cents. So that's a great risk to reward, right? So if you were to take an entry right here and you set your stop below this wick, okay, and you entered here and you took profit here, you're looking at an 8-to-1 risk to reward. That's wonderful. Like a 3-to-1 is basically the minimum that you're looking for on a trade. So this looks like a good swing trade, man. Good swing trade setup. So good. Hex. I think they actually delisted it off TradingView. Like I can't even chart it. It's delisted. But yeah, this is the chart on Hex. The monthly just looked really ridiculous on it. I think eventually this is going to do some crazy stuff. If you've been following along with the Pulse Chain assets and what's going on that chain, there's a lot of FUD against Richard Heart right now and things going on there that the big boys don't like, right? So, but I don't think that's going to really impact much. I think the chain is live and the community is really strong. And so I'm holding my Pulse Chain assets. I think that they're going to do really well this cycle. That's it. Hex is going to do great, probably. I have nothing really bad to say about it. It's been around for a while. So, yeah, if this gives you a nice dip to buy it, I mean, this type of structure, even though I don't have all the data right now, but this type of structure looks like a descending broadening formation type of structure. All right. And these break to the upside a very, very high majority of the time, especially with that monthly RSI down here at a 41 reading. That's in the buy zone. You got your MACD monthly cross. Yeah, this is probably going to take a solid year to play out, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, the swing high is back to 50 cents. That's a massive trade. So if you're a swing trader, maybe look for this retest or something. Maybe we get a retest or a higher low somewhere. That's kind of what you're looking for a re-entry. And this is going to probably do something like that. Okay, it's the monthly chart is telling you bullish things, not bearish things. So Hex looks pretty good on a monthly time frame, based on the monthly time frame that I have here. Anyways, cool. What else you guys got? I've been live here for a little bit over an hour. Appreciate 13 people supporting the stream. Appreciate all you guys and girls. I don't think we have any girls on the stream tonight, but if we do, appreciate all of them that are here. Let's see. Let's look at the DXY. We didn't even look at the DXY. All right, yeah. So our DXY is it's pretty strong right here, right now. I think the dollar index is probably going to continue ticking up here, because our 10-year is ticking up here. And I think this was more of a wedge pattern on the DXY more than anything else. This was a wedge that broke out long term. Okay. And these break to the top of the pattern eventually. And this could take some years to do that. You can see the structure that we built here. If the dollar continues, I'm looking at this 112 region and eventually on up to this golden mean ratio around this 120 region. Could I check the BTC chart of next week, please? What do you mean next week? Looks like Bitcoin dominance is coming off right now, so that's good probably for altcoins. ETH futures is up 1.57%, so this could be the roll that we were talking about into altcoins, you guys, all right? Pay attention now. Paying attention now is key. All right? I don't really know what that question means. If I could check the BTC chart of next week. No idea what do you mean by that? I don't know what next week's date is going to be. But the other chart you want to look at is the others.dominance chart, which if you look carefully, double bottoming down here on the monthly time frame. All right. We made a similar type of structure back in 2019 and 2021 before a major alt season. I think that's where we're at. Like we're right here. We're right here. January of 21. What do you know? We're about to be in January of 25. So it's almost like clockwork that the same patterns are just set up on the chart for the altcoins to run. Okay. So strap in, boys. If you're in the alts, I think that this is go time for them. Q1 is typically strong for the alts. Let's take a look at, you want to look at XRP? Yeah. Let's look at it. It broke my 7-year pennant. And what a beautiful structure it is. We've been speaking about this pennant for a long time on the stream. It finally did the deed. We had the monthly cross up, the whole 9 yards on the asset. No, dude, it'll just run till the end of 2025, bro. That's it. Yeah. 750 swing target on XRP is the first major swing target here that I have plotted. Okay. This pennant from swing low to swing high is roughly 1100% measured move from the break. That puts you, that puts you right at the first major Fibonacci level. You know, we might pierce it to like $8 or something, but I think that that pretty much gets you to your major fib target there on XRP. Okay. Before probably a pullback. All right. I think it's going to do something similar of what it did here off this pennant. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, you guys got to realize when I'm looking at like high time frame charts, these patterns can take months to play out. Okay, it's not going to happen tomorrow. You have to have a little bit of faith in what I'm seeing on these charts. Is all I'm trying to say. If you're patient enough and you can stay in the assets long enough, you can get paid longer term. Okay, like time and time again, right? This isn't the first major call that I've made, right? Yeah, 7-year pennant. 7-year pennant. Yep. Yeah, man. Just got to be patient in these markets. That's how it goes. Dude, you've been in this market for not even a full year, bro. You're an impatient guy, is what you are. Don't keep them on exchanges. That's what hardware wallets are for, man. You just hold them or stake them through your hardware wallet. There's no reason to keep it on an exchange unless you're actively trading it. When I buy a spot position, I don't leave it on an exchange. I've been holding a lot of these since 2022, 2023, man. Like INJ, August of 2022, the entry was given at $1.60. Do you guys remember this one? I'm sure you guys do. We entered it here in August of 2022 at $1.60. It hit our first major fib target. I sold half the position. I'm still holding half the position. Okay. I think somewhere in this $100 region is where this is going to go. Right? The monthly just reset, bro. Reset on the monthly time frame. Okay. The next 6 months to a year, this is going to do this. I'm just looking at fib targets, man. So once it breaks 50, you're looking at 75. Once it breaks 75, you're looking at 130. I don't think it's going to go much higher than that, to be honest with you. That would be like a 7x. That puts it at like a $14 billion market cap. That's fine. It's fine. $250 is not even a fib extension, unless you're really plotting it from this swing low here. Yeah, I think we're using wicks, then I should probably be fibbing from the bear market low, which is about there. And okay, so we tagged it. Yep, I don't think it's going to go much higher than the golden mean ratio. I could be wrong, but I'll be getting out of these up here for sure. Once this monthly, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like, it's pretty close to losing its monthly momentum too. So we gotta really start shifting this action here on this asset. I think pretty quickly here, it's got to do that. You know, maybe hold this range low and pivot and run. I think that's what it needs to do. Anyways, I'm holding this thing as long as it's going to be holding above like 14, 15 bucks. Starts losing that level, I just probably get out of it. There's no reason to be in it below there. That's the previous like region, like this region here on the chart. Yeah, that's it, guys. Anything else you guys want to look at? So yeah, Bitcoin kind of trading flat, still holding above 92K, so nothing to worry about just yet. Looks like alts are starting to get some bids here, like Algorand starting to maybe get some bids. Algorand looking pretty good, I got to say, after this double bottom break, right? We made a new high here on the year with volume too. That looks good. That's it. I mean, I got nothing else really to say other than these weekly charts need to reset before we start really seeing momentum come back in to the market. The monthly charts look fine. Okay. It's all about that weekly and 2 week for momentum to come back in. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream tonight. Hopefully it was informative. You learned something. Share the stream with people that you think could get some value from it. Drop a like, drop a comment, all the fun stuff for YouTube. That's really it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you guys had a nice holiday here, and Happy New Year to everybody. We'll see you guys next week. And I appreciate you guys' support, continued support. Otherwise, there would be no point for me to come on these streams. Even with 13 people on, man, I'm still here doing the streams, man. All right. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week. Happy New Year. See you guys in 2025.